Girls and boys, I hope you've been doing a lot of reading and writing, and I wanted to follow up with you about something we talked about last week, using good words and noticing when authors use good words. So let's take a look at a book that I really enjoyed reading with my kids. So the Frog and Toad books are written by Arnold Lobel. And let's see what he does here, what specific words he uses to make this story clearer so we can know exactly what he's trying to tell us. All right, so read along with me if you can. Toad hurried back to the river. Frog, he shouted, it's me, it's your best friend Toad. Frog was too far away to hear. Toad took off his jacket and waved it like a flag. Frog was too far away to see. Toad shouted and waved, but it was no use. Do you notice any words, any special words that are chosen to show not just what is happening, but how it's happening? Do you see how Arnold Lobel used the word shouted? He didn't just say said. He chose a word that showed how Frog was speaking. Do you notice any other word choices the author made to show us how something is happening? Yeah, how about waved it like a flag? Okay, and we've seen words like this before. We've seen phrases like this before. Okay, so the author wants to tell us how Toad was waving his jacket. And this shows that Toad was frantic. He really wanted Frog to see him. The author chose waved it like a flag and the word shouted to show that Toad was desperate and that he wanted Frog's attention. He wants Frog to know that he is there and he doesn't have to be alone anymore. Okay? So we use words, not just boring words like said. We try to use different words so we can tell our reader exactly what is happening and how it's happening. Let's try another one. All right, so this book is the stories Julian tells, and there's one specifically inside of it, The Pudding Like a Night on the Sea. So let's try this again. And remember, in this book, there's a scene where the father begins to make the pudding, if you've read this story before. Let's read it together and think about the words this author chose to show us what and how things are happening. Then he took down a knife and sliced 5 lemons in half. He squeezed the first one. Juice squirted in my eye. Stand back, he said, and squeezed again. The seeds flew out on the floor. So the author's name here is Anne Cameron. And you see the word, did you see the words that she chose to show us what is happening? So she doesn't just use cut or chop, she used slice. Can you see him doing that, this character? And the juice doesn't just go in Julian's eyes, it squirted. That shows how exactly it got into his eyes. And the seeds flew. I can see those seeds flying all over the place. Did you notice that? How about when we read The Magic Treehouse or any of the other books? Did you notice any really useful language that helped us understand what was happening and how it was happening? So today we looked at how authors use precise words to help us understand the story better. Just like the examples we've used before. We don't want to use the same old boring words all the time. If a character is whispering, like Annie did in the Magic Treehouse when Jack was holding the flute and playing to the saber-toothed tiger, she didn't just say things, she whispered them. When Annie runs off and does something adventurous or brave or crazy, Jack doesn't say, "Oh man." He sighs He grumbles. Oh, man. That's very important. So try to use these words in your writing as well. Don't just say something is yellow. Say it's lemon yellow or canary yellow. Don't say something is red. Say it's candy apple red or strawberry red. Okay, hopefully this will give you some ideas to go back and improve your writing and enjoy your reading even more. The end.